Most people see the internet as a limitless portal, but for some, it's a virtual prison.
I thought, well, I'll never be able to put this behind me. It will dog me for the rest of my life, and I'll never be able to heal.
This is the Oklahoma Sex Offender Registry. Thousands of mugshots, addresses, and physical descriptions. Information sex offenders are forced to give up. Rarely do we hear their stories, and in many cases, sex offenders are immediately written off as child molesters.
And you're a walking pariah. You're a monster.
We decided to zoom out and highlight the pain and struggle of what it's like to be a registered sex offender. Stacy, who just got off the registry, asked to remain anonymous.
You're reminded every 3 months, yes, you're a monster. Your life is a nightmare. It's going to never end. You will be here in the police office until the day you die.
Restrictions go beyond the online registry. The state doesn't allow sex offenders to live within 2,000 feet of a school, park, or daycare center. This limits the number of places they can call home. Bob is still on the registry. He asked to remain anonymous for his interview, too.
I'd owned my own home before I went to prison, and now I couldn't live in it.
Because it was in the red zone. Bob eventually found a place to live at an abandoned farmhouse with no electricity or kitchen and neighbors who wanted to run him out of town. It was in Okmulgee County, nearly 2 hours away from where he used to live.
I'm a society's reject, and I'm only here because they allow me to be here.
Oklahoma breaks down sex offenders into 3 levels. Most fall into the first 2 groups, which deal with issues like public urination and looking at child pornography. Violent sex crimes, like rape, make up the 3rd level.
Level 3 offenders tend to learn their lesson better than other criminals. For those convicted of burglary, 32% end up getting rearrested. For assault, that number drops to 22%. However, for violent sex offenders, it gets even lower, to about 13%.
Trust me, I understand fully that sex crimes against children are the most terrible things that can happen.
However, the state continues to tighten restrictions, like working on a new bill that would keep the worst sex offenders out of state parks.
A lot of people are not able to get work. A lot of their family, while they were in prison, went on welfare. Now they can't get work. They're not helping put money back into the economy.
They say the fears don't end, even after getting a job.
And they didn't do a background check. Well, I was paranoid almost every day for the first 3 years working there that they would discover that and fire me.
Stacy is actually off the registry now, and he says he just wants a normal life.
And I haven't fully realized my potential and what I can do outside of this sex offender registration.
In Oklahoma City, Farris Willingham, News on the Twos.